Okay, so let's just listen to Mr. Theophilus Sambe, who is currently in Benue. Let him give us a first-hand of what he has witnessed and what is currently happening in Benue State. Mr. Sambe, Theophilus, what is happening in Benue State?
Benue State is in a total state of mourning right now, and it's been so for the last 4 days because there was a genocide, so to speak. Scores of people were murdered in their sleep last weekend, precisely on 13th of this month. And it was done in the most gruesome of manner in a town called Yelwata. Yelwata is located in Guma local government area, some say 30, 40 kilometers away from the state capital, just about an hour drive to that point. It's on the border between Benue and Nasarawa on the Lafia axis. That's about the last town adjoining Nasarawa, linking Nasarawa and Benue State. So these guys came in, sadly, and murdered these people in their sleep. These people happen to be mostly IDPs, people who had run away from other towns, other troubled areas, and were sheltering in this place, in Yelwata. They were in large numbers, many of them in stores, in warehouses where they were allowed to stay. From what reports we got, in a particular warehouse, about 40 of them were there. Now, they were all clustered, they were all gathered because it was raining at the point these murderers, these marauders came in around 10 p.m. in the night, that dreaded night. The operation lasted for about 4 hours without security interference. And so they had a field day. They murdered people in their sleep in the most gruesome of manners. Now, children, women, and the aged were murdered among these people. They used, not to be graphic, machetes, guns, and in some places, they just simply shut the door, properly shut the door, set the doors ablaze, and set the whole buildings ablaze. And then the people were burnt in there alive. You know, from what we've learned, some people were insinuating that the manner in which some people were burnt, some of the corpses were burnt, they were insinuating that some highly inflammable and corrosive chemicals were used. In one instance, somebody was saying possibly even phosphorus, highly corrosive, not even fuel, because the bodies were burnt beyond recognition, and in some cases the bones were burnt, completely burnt down, completely burnt to ashes. So it left people devastated, it left people traumatized, and the mood in Benue State has not been the same ever since. And so many things have happened after that. It has left Benue and the whole country in shock and in mourning. On X, Twitter, Benue has been #1 trend the last 4 days. I don't see any trend beating the number of engagement that is having on X right now for the next 1 week at least. It just tells the state that incident, that genocide has left a lot of
in the backdrop of this, a lot of people want to
left
ask,
them reacting, and still very much.
Do we have federal presence right now in Benue State trying to curb all of these things?
Absolutely. Very, very strategic federal presence. There's an Air Force barracks with an Air Force base here in Makuri. Remember, I told you by road is about an hour drive. Now imagine how, with a helicopter, how less a time it would take to get to that spot, because it will definitely take shorter time to get there. I'm not into aerotechnology, aerodynamics and all that. What I'm thinking, with the helicopter, it probably would have taken 4 times less the time it would take a vehicle to get to that point. Now, there's a military checkpoint less than 1 kilometer from Yelwata to the military checkpoint. An active 24-hour active military checkpoints. That's not all. There's a barrack, a major military barrack here in Makuri. It's called 72 Battalion Military Barracks. Now, beside that, there's also NASME Barracks, Nigeria Army School of Military Engineering, where a lot of trainings for military personnel happens. It's like a mini barracks as well, with loads of facilities and gadgets there. So these barracks are all laden with personnel, highly trained, highly skilled personnel. Now, even more worrisome is the fact that days prequel to that attack, there were some reports, warning people that they are hearing rumors are flying around, the rumor mill is spinning, that there's a possibility that there's going to be an attack in Yelwata. Nothing was done. There was no reaction to that. While the attack was going on, immediately it started, people started sounding it out, and it was all over social media that Yelwata is under attack. Yelwata is under attack. People, the security agents were indifferent and they didn't react to it. It was later we heard that when the attack was almost over, that a team was deployed, and that team was ambushed, and 2 military officers, 2 soldiers, and 1 officer of the Nigeria Civil Defense Force, which is also a paramilitary formation, were ambushed, and 3 of those gallant forcemen. So basically, with that military presence and everything, it was shocking that the marauders came in and left unscathed. They left back and didn't get any response, and the people didn't get any respite. They didn't get any help from security agents, security formations that were all over the place. So that's how that went.
So for people who would want to ask, why Benue? Why Plateau? And who are these unknown gunmen, as it were? We keep saying we should take away the Fulani part of the headsmen. We should say headsmen, armed unknown gunmen, and all of that. Who are these people? Who are these infiltrators? Do we have any idea?
There are a lot of narratives to the motives behind these attacks. There are many. One can't rightly place a finger. But in terms of the individuals perpetrating this crime, eyewitnesses have said, speaking Fulani, their videos have been circulating online, on social media, and in some cases in the past, some of their leaders have come out to claim responsibility for the attacks and say that they perpetrated those attacks because they were not allowed to graze openly. So that takes us to the first one, the angle of this being a farmer headers issue. So in that case, the headers, the headsmen. Now, some are saying headsmen, but headsmen from outside Nigeria, terrorists from neighboring countries, Mali, Niger, but still Fulani, but foreign terrorists who are looking to expand, looking to find new territories, take over new land, invade and displace people and take over their land. Still Fulani. Others are saying they are terrorist groups because over the time, over the last couple of years, we've had different terrorist groups spring up in the country. ISWAP, Boko Haram, which has been around for quite some time. Of recent, Rukadawa, they go by different names. So people are saying they're just terrorists who are killing for gain. They're just going out there to kill, and they are sponsored. What do those people sponsor these terrorists to kill for? Some have said it's because they want to front a jihadist kind of agenda, which is a totally different angle to it, and a very expansive angle at that. Because if you're looking at it from that angle, some people have also, via that angle, insinuated that these headsmen are after Benue in particular on revenge mission. Yes, they are here for revenge mission, and they've hired people to come perpetrate this crime based on the fact that they are claiming, allegedly, that these people are on this revenge mission because during the jihad era, for students of history, they remember that these jihadists, they couldn't conquer Benue State. As a matter of fact, their leader, Usman Danfodio, was killed here. So that these guys are on a revenge mission here. And because this is where they met the fiercest resistance and their leader was killed, they want to start the agenda, the jihadist drive and whatever it is they're doing from Benue, from where they stopped, and then take it up to the southeastern part and further down the country. So there are different insinuations about the motives for these killings, but can one place a finger? No. And for the recent one, nobody has come to claim responsibility. So it's still with the old possibilities, the old insinuations, and the possibilities that people have been likening the attacks to. So it's kind of broad at the moment, without any real proof to show that these are the people perpetrating this, and this is their motive. So for now, it's kind of vague. That's what I'm trying to say.
Is there any support for people who have been displaced, victims right now, in terms of food, medication, and any monetary support anywhere that you've seen in Benue?
Yes, there has been. We have, at the moment, make no mistakes about it, these attacks have been going on across different parts of the state. They are in pockets, even though we've not had this number in one breath. We've had cases, in fact, it's a daily thing, across different settlements in the state. You will hear that 5 persons are killed here, 2 persons, 3 persons. Now, in those settlements where these people, pockets of attacks have taken place, been displaced. So as it stands now, there are 21 IDP camps in Benue, active camps. This last attack at Yelwata left a lot of the survivors scampering for safety. The state government arranged for buses, and then they were moved to the Makurdi International Market. It's one of the markets, the government markets in Benue, that has not been active over the years. So the traders were let off for now when this happened, and the people were kept there. There has been help from the State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, Benue State Emergency Management Agency. There has not been any major televised support from notable international organizations. It's just basically on some of the non-governmental organizations that are here and some individuals who have like myself and some of my friends have been there. We're still planning a second visit this week with some of the NGOs around to see if we can take some items there, because we hear that there's serious need at the camp for full food and non-food items. If you've been following on social media, some individuals and groups have been putting things together, taking essentials, toiletries, tissues, pads for the women, and clothes for both the kids and the women as well, and some special care for the pregnant women, because there are pregnant women there, and for the aged who need drugs, born out of the condition they found themselves in, having to run for a long distance, something they've not done for a while. Some of them are not in good health. So even drugs as well, people have provided for them, but efficient. We hear that they've been grossly insufficient at the moment. And but I know that in the coming days, the people are going to come. More support is going to come from the government. We hear that the president is going to be in town tomorrow. And because of the visits of the president, it has elicited a lot of visits into the state. People who are coming to also receive the president. I'm talking about political appointees who are from Benue State. They'll be coming in to receive the president. Most notably, the secretary to the government of the federation, Senator George Akume, who himself was one time the governor of the state, served for 8 years, served at the Senate for a good number of years as well. He was there today, alongside the popular Pastor Paul Enenche of the Dunamis International Gospel was there today as well. The National State Government came with a delegation led by the state governor as well today. So the president's visit and the fact that this has trended a lot on social media has drawn some notable personalities there. Now, but we know that tomorrow the president as well is going to visit. So in terms of humanitarian aid, I know that there's going to be really massive support tomorrow by the time the president gets there, from himself as an individual, from the federal government, which he is leading, and the delegation is going to go with. I know that people who have accompanied him are going to make individual donations tomorrow, and I know that soccer will come in big and handy tomorrow for the IDPs.
Thank you so much, Mr. Theophilus. Thank you so much for this great reports that you've actually given us today. We're very, very grateful. But before I just let you go, I would just want to ask you, what would you, as a Benue indigene, as a Benue son, what would be your plea to the government right now?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
What would be your plea either to the federal government or to the state government in regards to these reoccurring issues in Benue State that has to, leave a lot of people displaced, a lot of people killed? What would be your plea as a Benue son right now?
First and foremost, enough is enough. An end must be put in whatever way, whatever must be done, has to be done immediately to end these attacks once and for all. Because it's been known for so many years. And then we usually don't get the hype until there's a good number in one breath. It's not the first time. In 2017, there was a massive attack that left people almost 100% dead as well. So this guy simply is a circle. They attack, and then when there's noise, when there's attention, they go back into hiding, re-strategize. When there's calm, they come back. So let's find a lasting solution to this. Now, we are glad because we hear that now they are being haunted. We hear that security agents are going after them. So the federal government should employ everything, every resources within its arsenal, air support systems, and then involve local vigilantes. We are hearing that they want to involve communities, create community vigilante operation magic in Benue State, and they really reduce the insecurity in that center of insecurity in the country for some years. They should do whatever it takes. The governor should sit up, whatever it takes to ensure that the marauders are chased back or completely neutralized should be employed. And then I'd like to appeal to communities as well to brace up. Self-defense is enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So they should defend themselves. There's no crime in defending yourself when you come under attack, when somebody attacks you. So the communities should put themselves together. Whatever weaponry they can employ, they should have them on standby so that they don't just get slaughtered, easily, like chickens when these attackers come. When these attackers come, amid firm resistance, in many cases we've heard in the past around the country that they never come back, they never return. And then for well-meaning, spirited individuals who can provide support, let's keep the support coming. Nothing is too big, nothing is too small for these people. You'll be amazed at the things that they are going through at the camp there. They're going through a whole lot. I saw a picture this night of some lying down on the barefoot floor without mattresses. And I'm talking children. The ones with the mattresses, the available mattresses couldn't reach. Lying on the bare floor. And right now, it's the rainy season here. So the rain's coming and the weather becomes very, very cold. So imagine these people going through all that under this condition during this period and a whole lot of things they may need. So in whatever way individuals can come through, they should please come through and assist these people so that at least for now, there's no place like home, but where they are, the little things that they need, they will have access to those things. Food and non-food items. For me, these are the things that I feel that should be done. And finally, when everything is said and done, when all is said and done, they should be returned back to their ancestral homes. Whatever will be done to return them back and resettle them. And I'm talking about resettling them in full. I'm talking about getting shelters for them, at their homes. It could be temporary shelters, it could be permanent shelters, but that has to be done. That has to be put in place for them so that they will go back and restart their lives. Because it's it's going to be very, very tough. It's like a fresh start. Some lost members of their families in entirety. We had somebody who lost a mother and 4 children. 4 children and a mother. A man who lost 21 members of his family. So a lineage completely wiped, almost completely wiped out. So those people need to be taken back and be rehabilitated back into the normal scheme of things and help them resettle back and restart, help them resettle back and restart their lives. It's just all I can ask for at the moment.
Mr. Sambe, thank you so much for this session. I truly, truly appreciate you for coming and for giving us your live feedback from Benue. I would truly appreciate your reports today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
For the longest time, Nigerians have experienced bad leadership for a very long time. And the saddest truth is a vast majority of Nigerians have eventually come to terms with it. And I'm sure individually we all know this for a fact. People have had this sense of realization for a very long time, and the saddest part is, or the part that breaks my heart the most, is that it is impossible to communicate with our leaders. It's like they are made of stone. It's like you're talking to a wall or a brick. And the more you speak, the more there are no signs of emotions, feelings, nothing whatsoever. Like, it's like the term inhumane cannot be overemphasized or used in a context and not associated with Nigerian leaders. And this is really appalling. And every day it gets worse. We're talking of the Benue killings. And I don't know if someone can enlighten me, but in a sane society, our leaders are supposed to make our people, the citizens, the indigents of a country, our leaders are supposed to take it as a primary objective to make us feel safe. It is disgusting. It is disturbing that heinous crimes happen, and the only people we can look to for hope, look to for words of encouragement are so far from us. I mean, wouldn't it be reassuring if a governor of a state, the president of a country, after such heinous crimes comes out and say, you know what, Nigerians, this has happened, but be rest assured that the perpetrators, the people behind this, will be brought to justice. And not just words. Let testimonies show, let there be testament show to prove to the Nigerians that yes, indeed, it was not just words. If you do crime, if you are heartless enough to commit such atrocities, you will be brought to book, so that whoever is out there that has such intentions, such motive, would think twice about it. Wouldn't it be comforting to its people? Speaks on this thing and the words are really convincing. But no, not Nigeria. Nigeria is such a big joke. And people wonder why we create content like this, how we try to make things laughable. It is because that is the only sense of sanity we've been able to get out of this country. If anything is not cruise, nobody takes interest in it. People speak on these matters, but they are not being heard. It feels like our leaders, even if you're not their cult, at least once in a while, break your rules. At least once in a while, my whole saliva is dry. Like, at least once in a while, break your norm. Go out of your way. Even if you people have agreed in a cult that we will be like this, once in a while, just try and give your country people some sort of level of assurance. Insecurity has been on the rise for it's a way of life now in Nigeria. Back in the day when certain things happened, it was a shock. It was new. It was unheard of. Now, insecurity is a regular. It's a way of life. When you don't hear of insecurity for a week, you are more worried because you know they probably are reinforcing. See, I had an epiphany a while ago. Maybe our leaders want every one of us to leave this country. Maybe they want everybody to just buy, everybody to just elope and be non-existent. Maybe that's what their primary objective is. Maybe that's their long-term plan. Maybe they really want to get to a point where the frustration will be so much. So Nigeria is a case of, it's like someone having an accident and you're on the floor nursing your wound and somebody comes with a naked wire to electrocute you. And then the person stops at some point when you're about to pass out and you're about saying, thank you, Lord. And someone else come and bags your head and you can't breathe anymore. It's like they look for ways to just drown you. How can killings be happening? You are not even making the people, you are not even putting out words, statements, things that will prove and show that whoever is behind this, just be on the run because your own don't finish. Whoever you are, whoever this group is, know this and know this. You are done. There are no actions like that. There are no things that are put in place to guarantee that such occurrences would never repeat themselves. There's nothing. People are just searching for hope. And that is why you can only push people to a certain limit. You can only push people to a certain limit.
I want to try to be as elaborate as possible so that all of you can relate. I was born in Benue State. I grew up majorly in Benue State. For the most parts of my teenage years, growing up in Benue State, these things were lingering, especially when I stayed in the village for some time. I could see some kind of relationship between the locals and the Fulani community, as it were, because the Thief people had a relationship with the Fulanis who were living side by side with the Thief people. And we all know the Thief nation, or the Benue people, as it were, are agrarian people. These are people who are into farming, who are into livestock rearing, who are basically into food production. And that's why we have the slogan for Benue State as the food basket of the nation. Majorly, basically, that's what the people of Benue State do. They're into food production. So you have communities, Benue communities, who have large farm areas where basically what they do is farming. And you have the Fulanis, who may not be living very, very closely, but we're in the bushes, we're in those areas where those farmlands actually are. And when I was growing up, it was very obvious that we knew we had a community of the Thief people and also a community of some Fulanis around. When I was in the village, I could see Fulani headsmen, passing with their cattle. It was somehow peaceful. Even though we had some few clashes where Fulani headsmen actually passed with their cattle along farmlands, along farm areas, and sometimes damage those crops in those farms. And you see the representative of the Fulani community meets with our elders to discuss on how to settle things. And for the most part, things were settled amicably. We had a lot of small challenges that were resolved by the Fulani coming to appease the elders by giving them what they had, which were the cattle they were rearing, to say, we are sorry. We actually went into your farmlands, destroyed your farmlands, and please, can you have this? That was the relationship then. So I grew up knowing that there was something in the offing that was there, that was a big challenge between that relationship. But looking years back, this is a far cry from what is happening right now. What is happening right now in the Middle Belt is nowhere near the kind of relationship that existed then. So that was the relationship as far as I know. The Fulanis are not new to the Benue people. These headsmen, their activities and what they do, these are not new things. We have always had them amongst us. We've always known the Fulanis. We've always known that they had a way of life that was not too suitable to the Benue people. In the 90s, during the military regime, a lot of things were very quiet. Even though we had some very fierce military rule at that time, it was still kind of like very peaceful, compared to what we have right now. Now the military regime ushered in a civilian government by way of democracy. And we thought democracy, as we all know, is government for the people, by the people, and for the people. The sovereignty of a nation is bound by these terms. Without the people, a nation cannot hold its sovereignty. How can you have a sovereign nation where the people are not at peace, where the people are fighting, where the people are faced by destructions and killing? How can the sovereignty of that country be held? That is what we're faced with, and that is where we're missing it. When democracy came in, we thought democracy will bring a space where the people will be heard, because basically the function of government is for protection and provision. The function of a sovereign government is to provide and to protect. When there is no protection and there is no provision for a people, then the sovereignty begins to be questioned. Democracy that we thought, where the people will be heard and the people will be catered for, has actually failed. It never has been something that has been fruitful since democracy was actually ushered into this space. The killings in Benue affects not just the Thief people, it affects every Nigerian. So all of this chaos, all of this unaliving of people in Nigeria, not necessarily the Benue and Plateau killings, have been lingering its ugly nose for a very long time. But politics and politicians in Nigeria have not been able to see that this was actually going to get this far. I've always said this, the leaders back home are our major problem. The leaders in Nigeria have put themselves before the people, and that is why the sovereignty of Nigeria is being questioned right now. A lot of people have made so many videos questioning why politicians will always want to put themselves first, their families first, than the people that they are saddled with the responsibility to govern, the people they are saddled with the responsibility to provide for and to protect. Year in, year out, we get to see mass degradation of what should have been the main primary purpose of why these politicians are there in the first place. Back to what is happening in Benue State. Go and look at videos 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. These things have been there. The Benue people, the Plateau people, people of the Middle Belt have been suffering in the hands of unknown gunmen, Fulani headsmen, have been suffering from attacks from people we claim we do not know. Call it, give it whatever name you want to give it. Unknown gunmen, Fulani headsmen, armed headsmen. It still boils down to the fact that people are dying every day. People are being killed in their sleep. And the government that we have voted into power sits down and does nothing. To watch all of this chaos unfolding daily, yearly, and nobody says anything. It's actually a very big mess. And for the umpteenth time, I will keep reiterating this fact that the leaders, our leaders, have failed us. Now, let me give you a perspective that will make you understand that these activities are being planned. You're going to watch a lot of videos. We are going to play a lot of videos for you to understand how a big mess this is. I grew up in the barracks and I know what the Nigerian army can do. I know what the military can do when it comes to uprisings like this. The Nigerian military you see is capable of ending what is happening in the Middle Belt. The Nigerian military is 100% capable of stopping this, of ending this mess. Let me tell you this. Growing up as a child in the barracks, even up to my teenage years, it was obvious that the Nigerian military is not a group of people to be played with. The Nigerian military, the Nigerian army, was sent to Liberia. Go to Liberia and ask them what the Nigerian military did in Liberia. Go to Sierra Leone and ask them what the Nigerian military did in Sierra Leone. The Nigerian military is not a force to play with. But my question is this. The same Nigerian military, ECOMOG, that went to Liberia and Sierra Leone, and in 3 days, they calmed the whole chaos in Liberia. When they got to Sierra Leone, they did the same. The Liberian people, when they saw ECOMOG coming to Liberia, they were so happy because they knew the Nigerian military would stop this in no time. The Nigerian military entered Liberia, entered Sierra Leone, and the ongoing civil war was quelled. Today, when you look back, the Liberian people are always very grateful for the Nigerian ECOMOG. So we know what the Nigerian military can do. Why are we not still applying the same tactics, the same operational sense that the Nigerian military has? The Nigerian military is very capable of quelling all these things that are happening in Nigeria. What is happening in Nigeria, the Middle Belt, Benue State, Plateau State, is something the military can stop in less than a week. Why is it that the same military, the same Nigerian military that went to Sierra Leone, went to Liberia to stop the civil war that was going on, why is it that the same military cannot apply the tactics, the strategies they used in those countries? Why is it now that it has to do with Nigeria? People are dying, so much loss of lives and properties, and the Nigerian military cannot apply those same tactics. Something is wrong somewhere. Something is clearly wrong. We know that our government has failed us. We know the leaders in Nigeria are only thinking of themselves and their families. I want us to watch these videos. Watch these videos of different people giving commentary on what is happening in the Middle Belt, what is happening in Benue State particularly, and you will see firsthand that there's a big lacuna, that there's something wrong in the polity of that nation called Nigeria. We have a young man called VDM, who is the only one who has given us live feeds directly from where this is happening. All of these political heavyweights who should have been there firsthand, and all the media houses who should have actually followed suit to give first-hand reportage of what is happening in Benue State. Something is really wrong somewhere. My village in Benue State is wiped out. I don't have a village I can call my home. I don't have a village I can go to. I don't have a village I can say, okay, right now I'm in Nigeria, let me go to my village. I don't have that. My uncles have all fled. My cousins have all been displaced. We don't have a village right now as I speak. This is what Nigerians have been crying out for the most part, saying, if this has not come to your doorstep, you probably may think this is not happening. Politicians only rise up when it has to do with them, when it has to do with their families and relatives. When it has to do with a different ethnic group, different sector of people, these guys fold their hands and watch as if nothing is happening. Right now, as I speak, a lot of thousands of people are displaced. People have been unalived in Benue State, and the number one citizen of the country is yet to make a special broadcast to commiserate with the people, commiserate with the victims and people who have been displaced. The major political heavyweights have not done anything strategic to end this chaos. What is happening in this country? You know how Nigeria is. Instead of all the security agencies to be investigating to see what is really happening, they may be watching you as a content creator and trying to check your IP address to see where you're streaming from and why you're discussing all of these things about the government. The responsibility of a government is to protect and to provide for the citizens of that nation. Is that what we have right now in Nigeria? This is sad. This is very heartbreaking. This is truly, truly sad. As a Benue State son, I feel very, very pained by what is happening right now. Not just because it's Benue State, but for every part of Nigeria that has been affected by these so-called unknown gunmen, which clearly you and I know what is happening. We know. And if we know, why would they say they don't know what's happening? I believe in the Nigerian military. And if the Nigerian military want to do what they are known for, it won't take them a week. Who is telling you guys not to move forward? What is really happening? Please, I wouldn't want to say much. I want you guys to watch all these videos. VDM, a citizen like you and I, is the only one that has given us visuals for Nigerians to even have a follow-up of what is happening in Benue State. I have lived in Benue State for a very long time. I know that there's a military establishment called the 72 Airborne Battalion. I know there's also a military establishment called the Nigerian Army School of Military Engineering, all in North Bank, just close to where all of these things happen. The Nigerian military can decide to ask all the soldiers in these barracks to come out as a national call, a national security call to defend its people. Have we had that? No. This is really, really painful. But I wouldn't want to say much. The visuals should actually give you guys everything you need to know. If there's anything you need to do in your small way to speak out, to voice out that this is a no-no, it will go a long way to helping all of this. Even the Pope in Vatican had to give a message to say this is wrong. We've not heard this from the major political heavyweight. Even the SGF, who is from Benue State, has not called out, has not screamed and cried that this is wrong, that my people are being unalived. This is wrong. We have not heard that yet. Something is clearly wrong.